Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for joining our daily market outlook for today, the 10th of August 2012. To look at our economic calendar, we see that in an hour and a half we have news from the UK, which is the producer price index. This is a monthly indicator. We saw a steep drop in the previous month. The reading came at minus 2.2%, but the expectation is for it to rise to 1.4%. At 3:30, the times you see here are local Cyprus times. For the traders on the Canadian, we might see some moves as we're expecting the unemployment change figures and the unemployment rate. So this labor data is very important for the Canadian economy, so we might see some movements on the dollar against the Canadian. At the same time, we have news from the US, import prices, but we see that the reading is almost 0%, so we might not see a big impact. And finally, at 9 p.m., we have the federal budget balance. We saw that the past reading was at minus 59.7 billion, and now the expectation for it is to almost double to minus 103 billion. So that's our economic indicators for today. Let's look at how the markets are moving. Obviously, we noticed the steep drop on the euro against the dollar. The main support that it broke and continued to fall from was at 23.40. We saw two previous attempts that it failed to break it, and then once it broke it, we saw it continue to go down almost 75 pips. It currently hit a low at 22.65. So on the 1 hour chart, we clearly see a new downtrend. We can take the channel from the highest price to the lowest price, and we see on the 1 hour chart most indicators are giving us a down signal, including the two momentum indicators. So of course 22.65 or 22.50, this zone will be our main support for today, and it currently appears that the prices are on their way to this level. The pivot point so we're going to say the outlook is going to continue to stay down unless we see trading go above 23.25, which probably would indicate for us that the fall had stopped, and we're going to start to go back up again, which is almost as the same level at the exponential moving average 55. So it's a clear downtrend, and we might see prices drop as far as 22.15 in today's trading. Obviously, the downtrend started after the price failed to break the resistance at 24.40. We also saw a drop on the sterling, but it wasn't as strong as the drop on the euro. We noticed the sterling had 3 attempts to rise and break the resistance at 56.85. And we saw 3 failed attempts to do that. Ever since then, it fell, and we can see the fall of almost 80 pips. Currently the trend line that we drew here still appears to hold. According to the report, the pivot point is at 56.75. So we can see that currently prices are much lower than this level. So as long as the market doesn't manage to rise above the this resistance that it failed to break 3 times, the outlook is going to stay down, and the targets would be 55.90, the first target. We can draw a line below this level, or we can say around 56, and 55.70 would be the next target for the selling positions after that. Obviously, each previous low will be a support level or a target for the selling positions. But we could still say that there is hope for a rise as we continue to see higher lows. So the current retracement, we should, if it doesn't break the previous low, it means this trend, uprising trend line would still be valid. So it's not clearly dropping as we see on the euro, but it definitely needs to break the support, the resistance of 56.75 for us to be on the safe side that the market is going to continue to rise. We see the same triangle shape that we saw on the sterling also happening with the dollar against the yen. Same scenario, multiple attempts to break a resistance. In the case of the yen, it's at 78.70, and we continue to see each drop doesn't drop to the previous low, but achieves a higher low. So we can also draw a ascending trend line. These boundaries of the triangle, of course, can be considered support and resistance. And by the time the triangle finishes, the prices has to break out of it, and this will dictate its direction. According to the online report, the dollar against the yen, the pivot point for today is at 78.40. We currently see the prices exactly at this level, so we have to monitor the price. If it drops above or below this level, will give us an indication of a rise or a fall. Momentum indicators on the 1-hour chart are starting to show us a down signal, so if it goes below this level, we start to have a few signals going down. Finally, we saw a major movement also yesterday on the dollar against the Swiss currency. The euro managed to break the support, and we see that the dollar Swiss managed to break the main resistance of 97.40. We saw a failed attempt on Monday and also on Wednesday. However, yesterday it did manage to break to break this resistance. So this resistance currently now will turn into a support. If we take a look at the 1-hour chart, we see a clear uptrend. Of course, we can draw a new channel for the 1-hour chart. And we see that most indicators are giving us an up signal. The MACD is above the 0 level. The momentum 22 is above the 100 level. prices are trading above the exponential moving average 55 and also above the pivot point, which for today is adjusted at 97.25. So all signals are giving us a rise signal. Currently the expectation is to see it rise to 0.98 and after that 0.9830. Of course, we saw the high yesterday reach almost 0.98. It was 12 pips shy of it. However, if prices manage to drop below the pivot point, we will go back to selling the currency to 0.9, almost 0.97 would be our first target, which is we see is this base here. And after that would be 96.75, which we see previous lows at this level. So that's our daily outlook for today. We thank you for joining us and listening to us.